Hello, I'm happy you are back. Welcome to my lesson. Today, my lesson is designed for flight operation air transport educational program. The subject is radio telephony communications. The theme of today's lesson is runway incursion. And there are two sections, avoiding miscommunication and airport layout. Now please, I want to introduce a lesson plan. Our lesson plan consists of aims, objectives, material required, introduction, practice, production, home task, and evaluation. Warm up. There are 3 questions. I want you to discuss these questions in small groups and to work out the questions in your groups. Okay. Next is active vocabulary. Please write down the words and combinations onto your notebooks and try to use them in your own sentences and in tasks you are going to do. There is a task for you. It is a short article on tower pilot communications. Your task is to read and to do the exercises concerning the article. Task number 2, there are 6 sentences. You have to underline the correct answer. Okay, next task is pair work. Okay, let's move. It is vocabulary task. There are 8 collocations, and the second part is known. You have to find out the first part of the collocations from the article. Okay, next is recommendations for you concerning the first part. Okay, there is a speaking part of our lesson. There is one question: how far do you agree or disagree with the statements below? Why not? And 5 statements. Please work these statements in small groups. Okay, let's move on to our second section of lesson, airport layout. Please be introduced with an airport layout plan and components of an airport. And we have a short video I want to record. Please listen carefully. And
we will begin by explaining the layout of a typical airport. Information on airports can be found in the FAA's Airport Facility Directory and in commercial publications and websites such as AOPA Airports, airnav.com, and skyvector.com. These publications provide information such as airport location and elevation, length, width, and strength of runways, airport lighting and approach aids, ATC and private communications information, aviation services and information about airport businesses, airport hazards, and noise abatement procedures. For larger airports, the FAA publishes an airport diagram that illustrates all runways, taxiways, ramp areas, and other features. Although airports are different in size and layout, airport markings and procedures have been standardized for safety and efficiency of operations so that everyone can comfortably and safely navigate on the ground. When an airport is built, the runways are laid out so that the approaches to the runways avoid higher terrain and obstructions, and the primary runway is aligned as much as possible with the commonly prevailing winds. Any secondary runways are for use when the winds are from other directions. Generally, pilots try to utilize the runway with the most direct headwind, which minimizes the runway distance required and also reduces their workload. The length, width, strength, and number of runways will be determined by the amount and the size of traffic expected. Many airports started out small and were expanded as use increased. Airport landing surfaces can be asphalt, concrete, grass, gravel, or for seaplanes, water. Airports will also have taxiways and parking areas known as ramps. As airports increase in size and usage, they become hosts to aviation businesses that provide fueling service, maintenance, flight training, passenger and freight service, manufacturing, and other related services. Of the 5,000 plus public use airports in the U.S., about 540 of them have enough traffic to warrant a full-time or part-time control tower. Just over half of the control towers in the U.S. are operated by the FAA. The other 46% are operated by private contractors. When operating from a towered airport, Air Traffic Control, or ATC, will coordinate arrivals and departures by issuing instructions and clearances to the pilots. When operating from a non-towered airport, the pilots coordinate their own movements and use recommended patterns and procedures for safety and efficiency. At towered airports, ATC and pilots communicate over a series of distinct frequencies known as ground control, tower, and approach or departure. At non-towered airports, pilots communicate over a common traffic advisory frequency, or CTAF, issuing traffic advisories and coordinating with other pilots in the area. Aircraft without radios rely on pattern procedures and a good visual lookout to sequence with other aircraft.
Okay, thank you for your watching. This video is taken from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the world's best famous universities. Okay, thank you. Let's continue our lesson. Now please, concerning the video, I would like you to write down your questions using Jamboard. It is an interactive board. You can write your questions simultaneously. Now take a sticker and write your name and the question you want to ask. Okay. And you have to save your question. Now please, your question is here, your name and question. Thank you. You'll be given 2 or 5 minutes to do this task. Let's continue. Now please, the next task is pair work. I want to divide you into 2 groups, group Alpha and Bravo. And please, there is an instruction how to do this task. You have to find out from group Bravo. This one is group Bravo. From group Bravo, where the following buildings and features are, then mark them on your map using prepositions in the box. Okay, you may also go to our Jamboard and to do the task.
Aviation English.
Next task
Unit
is
1.
listening
Track
task.
1.
Our first hotspot is Taxiway Echo as we approach from Taxiway Charlie en route to runway 22 right. The signage is confusing and a blast fence blocks the view of the end of the runway. Aircraft taxiing to 22 right via Charlie often turn left too soon and end up on Taxiway Echo. This can mean a very long taxi behind 22 right.
Okay, here are given 3 audio recordings, and on the diagram you see hotspots Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta and Echo. Please, after listening to the audio recordings, you have to fill the gaps with appropriate answer. Thank you. Next task is again audio recordings, listening tasks. Please fill the 5 missed words. Okay, now we have a pronunciation task. There is an IKO alphabet, and here are given some of letters from IKO alphabet. You have to listen to the tape recordings and fill the table given below. Okay, welcome.
Track 4. Quebec. Romeo. Zulu. November. Hotel. Juliet. Sierra. Alpha.
Okay, now please, in this table you see the stressed syllable symbols, and the Quebec, the second syllable is stressed. It is written in the first column. Okay, thank you. Next is vocabulary task using prepositions. Now please fill the sentences with missed prepositions and we'll check it. Okay, thank you. Next is it is concluding part of our lesson, and I want to read for you recommendations in order to minimize runaway incursions. What recommendations are given? First, keep instructions short. Listen to what a pilot reads back. Speak slowly. When talking to pilots, controllers who is not a native speaker, break up the message and use short pauses. Ask when you're not sure about a piece of information. Include the full call sign when giving an instruction or reading back. Wait for complete aircraft identification following instructions. And there is a statement, whether on land or in air, safety should be practiced everywhere. Now please, home assignment. There is a question for you to think over. Do you know of any incidents where miscommunication has caused a runaway incursion? Now please, at home, make a presentation for this question due to miscommunication. We'll work on your presentation for the next lesson. On our next lesson. Okay, next is evaluation. I want to guide you to this link and to show the table how your answers will be assessed. Now please, this is evaluation table, and your answers will be assessed according to IKO language proficiency rating scale, because there is a IKO requirement for language proficiency for pilots and controllers, and your answers will be assessed through 6 descriptors, and the overall will be the lowest mark in one of the descriptors. For example, if Abrarov Nail gets excellent, 6, thickest on the 5 descriptors, and the last one interaction is satisfactory, his overall will be satisfactory. Okay, thank you. Now please, it is finishing part of our lesson. I want to say that our lesson is over. If you have any questions, you may ask. If the lesson is understandable for you, I want to say you thank you for your taking part, and see you next time. Goodbye.